Alright, hey there viewers. So I thought that I'd do a week-long video of what it's like to be working at a dealership. I guess, I don't know. That's my idea. So first day of the week, it is March 5th, Tuesday. You wonder why it's a Tuesday, because we all start, or we have Sundays, Mondays off. That's why we work on Tuesdays to Saturday. And yeah, so this is the first day of the week. Some people do come in on Monday to, work on their cars, and also if they want to finish up some work. So Monday's also an option if you want to come in too. But I'm going to start off with this 2013 Honda Pilot, 191,000 kilometers. It is, what does it have? It has a TPMS light. That's a TPMS malfunction. What does it do for? Yes, I know there's a TPMS light. So it's due for service. It says B136, so a B service. 3 would be your transmission and transfer case, and then your number 6 would be your rear differential fluid. So that's my first job of this morning, before 8 o'clock. So let's get right to it. I think yeah, I think I have a transmission to do, well, torque converter, but another coworker over there is also doing a transmission over there. So we try to stagger our bigger jobs, so not like 2 or 3 people are doing a large job where we're going to set us back for the day, and can't keep up with the rest of the work. So yeah, so yeah, so I'm just going to do this, and then he might be finishing that today, and then I'll start on my big jobs. I might as well reset this maintenance light. Reset. That is done. All right. So first thing you want to do is make sure you can crack the 17 millimeter fill plug on the top there, because that thing can be pretty tight. That's where it's located, and that's where you're going to be filling it. So make sure you can crack that loose.
That's on from 2003 and 2000.
So make sure you one always breaks those sockets, but you get the ones from Harbor Freight. I don't think they don't break as easily. Make sure you crack these fill plugs loose first, because they're pretty tight. That's loose. Ooh, kind of milky. So the breather for that thing is right there. I can't see it, but this little rubber hose up on top, and it's still up there. It's not disconnected or anything. If you fill it up, just let the excess drain out. So now we're doing the rear diff. Oh yeah, the other. Oh shoot. There we go. And while we're back here, I can see the bushing here is starting to separate. Right. This one not as bad, but you can see it's starting to do it. Like right here. So not a major issue now, but eventually those things break, and then when you're driving or accelerating, you get like a little clunking noise. Nope. Well, you can see it kind of move up and down, but yeah. And then like the spring in here, down there, that part right over there, it's kind of rusty. The shock is rusty. Yeah. All right, so Pilot is done. I also had like a half-an-hour meeting, so that took up some time. So I just, other than the fluids, I just serviced the brakes, lubed all the pins, adjust the e-brake. So they're all good. So I'm going to go on to the next job. All right, so there's a little bit of a confusion here, because I was supposed to work on a Honda Pilot to do a torque converter, but that customer was supposed to come in on Friday, right? But she never dropped off her car on Friday for me to work on it Tuesday, which is today. But yeah, so now I, because first the Honda Pilot customer came in before this Honda Accord with the head gasket. So I'm doing the head gasket now because that customer is not here. So anyways, I got a 2018 Honda Accord. Has less than 100,000 miles, 147,000 kilometers. So 100,000 miles, which is 165,000 kilometers for you guys in the U.S., I guess, for roughly a comparison. So yeah, how we found out that it has a head gasket is I can't remember which cylinder. It might be cylinder 2. Misfire, came in for that. I put a camera down the cylinder, pressurized the cooling system, and then I just watched coolant leak into the cylinders, and there's my head gasket. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing today. I'm just gonna make sure I got all my parts, and we're gonna do this job. This might take me 2 days because warranty pays, I think, almost 12 hours. Book time is about 15 hours. So yeah, that's the difference in warranty time and book time. 12 warranty, 15, I think 15.6 for book time. But yeah, if anything, if we get busy, I might have to take the hoist beside me to work on other stuff. So yeah, I might get pulled off of this job. So let's get started. I'm gonna make sure I have all the parts here. All right, so first things first, gonna drain the oil, drain the coolant. I'm also gonna remove this plastic underbody here. That way I'm not messing around with the plastic in the way. And I'm gonna probably remove this part of the exhaust, right? Usually these things will pull the bolt or the stud right out of the flange here. So yeah, I think that's pretty much for down here. And while these two are draining, I'm just gonna go grab myself a coffee. I removed everything underneath here. I also removed the exhaust bolts and the brackets. But yeah. Oh, when I was removing the skid plate, this thing fell. It's a pair of pliers in the skid plate. I don't know whose it is, but it's probably whatever shop it came from. But I guess it's another free tool. But I don't think I really want this thing. It's I don't know. What brand is it? It says Diamond on it. So. All right, so I don't want to be repetitive because I did make a video on this already, but I guess this is a different kind of video. Just a typical week of me working, or what it's like, with warranty work and retail stuff. But yeah, anyways, one thing I want to answer, because somebody in the comments was like, how do you remember where everything goes? Well, what I do is well, when you do things enough, you kind of just know where all the bolts go by just looking at it. Because when you work at Hyundai, and you get a lot of techs that quit and leave engines taken apart and all the bolts everywhere. Yeah, you kind of learn a set of skills of remembering where every bolt goes, and just by looking at it. So I did a lot of engines that from techs that quit, that laid parts everywhere, and I can be like, hey, that bolt goes here, that goes in, and gets things done. And I was the only one who did that, so nobody else was willing to touch somebody else's what do you call it, somebody else's job that was taken apart by them, because nobody knows where stuff goes, kind of thing, But yeah, anyways, so what I got to do is how I remember, if you're doing this for the first time, how you would want to do this and remember where everything goes. Have yourself a system, right? So I know I'm going to have to take that timing cover off, but I still need that engine mounted to be able to take all the other stuff. So that's probably the last thing I'm going to do. The first thing I'm going to do is take the intake off, take the turbo off. I clean my bench up, right? So I can just put my parts in order and then put the bolts with all the parts. That way, when I go to put everything back together, I just work my way from this side to that side, because I lay my parts from there to here, right? So turbo goes on the bench at the end there, put whatever bolts that it goes to with it, and then I'll just start taking all the coolant pipes on this side off, and then intake, and then I do the valve cover, take the valve cover off, take the ignition coils off, keep those things together, and then get my timing cover off, put a floor jack underneath to support it, and then then I can take the head gasket off, or take the cylinder head off. So that's how I do it. But if you do it often enough, then it's kind of like muscle memory. And yeah, I've never had a time where I had extra parts laying on the bench or extra bolts that I didn't know where to go, because usually everything's gone by the time I'm done. But I think what he says was he keeps all his bolts in a tray, and that's one thing that you don't want to do, because when you throw everything into a tray, you're just like, where does all those bolts go to, right? So keep them together, keep them with the parts that it came out with. That way, when you're reassembling everything, it makes it easier to remember where those bolts go. So yeah, just a tip, I guess. All right, so quick update. Turbo's out, everything's out here. Wiring harness flopped over, removed that wiring harness over, flopped it over. I think I'm gonna take the intake manifold out next. And yeah, right now it's like about 12:50, so it's lunchtime. It's lunchtime, so time to take a break. All right, so back from lunch. It is 2 o'clock. I kind of just started, I guess, or continued after I finished lunch. But it is 2 o'clock, so I started at around 10:30, 10:45, I think, something like that. So 11:30, 12:30, 1:30. Yeah, so 3.5 hours in, I guess, minus the half an hour lunch. So everything's all taken off. I took the crossover pipe off, right? Took the intake manifold off. There's 2 bolts on the injector harness that's bolted to the head back there. High pressure fuel pump, stuff like that. So yeah, I think what we're gonna do is I gotta remove that belt, take the valve cover off, take the timing cover off, support it underneath, and then yeah. So I don't know if any of you do this, but you know, sometimes you play yourself a game and you know, kind of time yourself how fast you can get things apart, and then yeah, I don't know. That's maybe that's just me, but yeah, it's all about efficiency, I guess. Here's the table full of parts. So I put everything up to this point. So fuel injectors is the last, or high pressure fuel pumps the last thing I took off. So yeah, next thing, take the valve cover off, and then yeah, I'll update you once I have to clean everything, I guess, or start cleaning the timing cover. All right, so it's 3:30, right?
Just go to Sidewalk Sports.
3:30. It's not home time yet, but I got the cylinder head off. Now it's the tedious part of doing all the cleaning, right? Also checking the cylinder head, or not the cylinder head, well, yeah, cylinder head, and also the block for flatness. I'm gonna grab my straight edge. We're gonna check it across, right, in 3 sections here, and then diagonally. And then yeah, do the same thing with the cylinder head. And if this thing's out of spec, then I can just unbolt the short block, and we'll just submit a new claim for a short block, and I can just throw it in, just, you know, cherry pick the rest of this out, and then yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, well, I keep saying it's not too bad, because it's but for somebody who's done it for the first time, I guess it might be a little bit difficult, but you'll get used to it. Yeah, because I think I gotta stop saying it's like easy, because it's not easy for everybody. But yeah, once you get the hang of it, it's pretty much simple. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I guess I just keep on going on until I get off work at 4 o'clock, and then yeah, that should be it. And then come back fresh tomorrow morning. So yeah, usually in the morning, I'm the first one here. I make coffee, but I like to put some of the special stuff. That is Vietnamese coffee. So it is strong, so we like to mix it with our crappy coffee. And it makes it taste better. So yeah, I got this from Vietnam. My I guess I can call her fiance now. It still feels kind of weird calling her that, but her mom got us a box, like a full case. She filled a box full of coffee, and all the guys at work bought all of it when I brought it back. So this is the leftover. So if you ever tried weasel coffee, where what they do is the weasels eat the coffee beans, and then they poop it out, and then they roast that coffee bean. That's basically what it is. It might sound gross, but I guess they call it. It's like a delicacy, I guess. I don't know. It's Vietnam. But this one's not Weasel coffee. It's just an organic coffee, homemade in Vietnam, that I bring to work just to share with everybody. Oh, still water, still heating up. So usually Vietnamese coffee, you get the little thing on the top of their cup, and it's like it's a dripper, I guess. You just fill the top and it drips coffee in it. You have like condensed milk on the bottom, but that takes too long, so we use our coffee machine. And yeah, but yeah, there's a ton of coffee shops in Vietnam. I went with my fiance's dad. He gave me some coffee that was pretty thick, and it was really strong. Like you get some really bad heart palpitations, you know. Yeah, other than that, it smells nice, and yeah, it tastes nice, even though we mix it with our you know, our free coffee at work. Okay, I don't know how we're gonna do this on the camera because this engine's kind of tilted, but I got my lovely assistant here. It's we're checking, so I got a 0.076. I think the spec says 0.8, so I can't get one of these guys in. So yeah. So yeah, you get the idea. That was our senior guy here. I actually said he was 30 years with the company. He's actually been here for 40 years. So yeah, I was wrong about that. So 40. So he's been here for a really long time. But yeah, but you get the idea. You get the straight edge, and you just check it for flatness. And you know, since this is smaller, and then I couldn't get my feeler gauge underneath the straight edge, so this block, the flatness of the block is good. So now we're gonna go ahead and check the cylinder head. Okay, so here's the cylinder head. Did some cleaning. Also checked the flatness of the cylinder head with the straight edge. I wasn't able to get my feeler gauge underneath. Same thing with the cylinder block, what we just did, right? But other than that, I gotta do more cleaning. I gotta get rid of all the silicone. I'm gonna change these dual VVTs on these things because I got new ones, because you know they always have all this wear on the teeth. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We're gonna get ready for reassembly. So this is nothing to do with this, but our my coworker over there brought in a Civic Type R that blew second gear, and then we're looking at the over rev counter, and it hit over 8,000 RPM. So I guess they money shifted. I wonder if I can get a quick shot of that. Took a quick shot on the scan tool there, and yeah, it set a code for an engine overspeed, so they over revved it, blew second gear. So I guess they call it the money shift. All right, cylinder head is on. Torque the head down. Everything in the timing system is new because I like to use new timing stuff. Like if you were to do this job, you would probably want to put new things rather than reuse things. So yeah, everything, I even use new cylinder head bolts where you can still reuse the old bolts, but I always get new ones. That's my own preference. All right, so it's 12 o'clock. What I've done is cleaned up all the silicone off the timing cover, and I resealed it, so everything's on there. Same thing with the high pressure fuel pump bracket. So it's try to give it as much time for it to dry, and hopefully, you know, be done by the end of the day, and we can get the thing started. So if not, then, you know, I'm just gonna let it sit overnight. Usually I just do like a little touch test and see how the silicone feels, and then yeah, but if anything, I'll just start it up in the morning tomorrow, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. But other than that, I am going for lunch. Okay, oh, turn off the music. So it's like 3 o'clock. I got an hour till I get off work, but my bench is pretty clean. Right, I still got some intake stuff over here, so everything's almost back together. I just gotta do the exhaust or the turbo. What do you call it? The catalytic converter. Put the oxygen sensor. You know, put the battery, the air box, and everything, and then I'm pretty much done. So I'm gonna keep pushing and try to get everything done by the end of the day before I go home. But you know what I kind of regret not doing? the finger snap, and it's like done. That way you don't have to watch all this what do you call it? Me putting stuff together. I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna try and finish by the end of the day. And the silicone is drying, but it's still kind of squishy. I can still feel it when I'm touching it. So probably gonna sit overnight, let everything dry, and then I'll put oil in the morning. And we are at 3:30, not even home time yet. Damn. All right, so as you can see, everything is all back together. Just gonna top up the coolant, put oil in tomorrow morning, and I'll start her up. And yeah, I am just gonna take a break while I fill up this coolant, as it feels like it's a long day. Especially with where you're, leaning over all the time, and your knees are, like, you're always bent over. Like, my knees are sore.